Let's see what the bands have in store for us today. We're going to see the Glass ban yet again. Again, no surprises really there. Oregon's a map that both teams have played once in this qualifiers, and they both won it. So not a lot of VOD to really go back and review of recent time for seeing how each team played it. We're going to see the Ying ban come out there as well. I do love a Ying on Oregon. I always do get a little bit upset when Ying's removed from Oregon.
Well, I mean, it's either you love the Ying on Oregon because you like playing it, or you hate a Ying on Oregon because you hate people who just candle it into the site and just shut you down instantly. But the Maestro ban coming through, definitely very interesting coming out from OrgLess. We'll see how Spacestation are going to respond to that. I would guess they're going to ban the Mirror here because they don't want to ban the Echo because they rely fairly heavily on their intel. And there we go.
Yeah, I think OrgLess coming out there with the Maestro ban really put it on Spacestation to take away Mirror. And it was maybe a good little bit of a bait there because Mirror's usually an operator that is seen on the first ban because the attackers really don't want to go against the Mirror downstairs in Laundry. But to kind of take the Mirror away from yourself as well, it seems like it's a little bit harder to do. So, they've done a pretty bold move there by taking the Mirror away because you could see that as making your Laundry rounds easier for your first 6 rounds on defense, and then kind of just dealing with it as you have to when it comes to your turn on attack.
Yeah, we could definitely see that come through. We can see 6-bit coming through from Crazy for the Capitao and the Mute coming out from Bosco. So, what do we think about the lineups? What do we think about this map?
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I was excited to maybe see a Monty because it's not an operator that we've seen this evening. We've seen him baited a few times and then 6 picked out of, but no real surprise. I think without there being a Glass there, it kind of removes a little bit of Monty's sort of value, if you will, and the ability that you've got to really brute force your way into a site with smoke. Obviously, you've got the Capitao, but you do miss out on Glass being able to see through the smoke. So we're still going to see a bit of a meeting hold upstairs from SSG, which isn't all too unusual. But I'd like to see how heavily they do try and hold meeting. They've not actually reinforced the meeting hatches yet, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, there's only one of these hatches you ever reinforce, and that's the hallway hatch. The other one, the electric hatch, only gets opened up not only for the rotates, but to stop a blue rush coming through. So we'll see how round number 1 gets underway. But this is it's a very slow setup coming out from Space Station, or maybe they're hoping to bait out a quick rush coming out from OrgLess. We'll see how they respond to that, but this is very aggressive already.
Yeah, OrgLess aren't really wasting any time in trying to establish some good rear tower control. We've got 2 guys already on Repel, just making sure that T3 is going to be clear, as that's going to be the entry point there for, I believe it's Acid up there, as Yeti just comes in onto tier 2 as well. Making his way down onto Meeting, getting some attic control. But I don't think it's something that's really going to concern them too much because it doesn't appear as though Space Station Gaming have got all too much of an upstairs roam presence. I think there's maybe someone playing on Armory stairs and someone playing over near Kitchen, but Yeti there just trying to find any pre-firing angles that he can onto Meeting. There we go, Bosco playing upstairs in Armory, and he's going to be making sure that Garage isn't a viable entry point for the attackers.
Yeah, this is pretty good control already, though, coming out from OrgLess. They've moved quickly into Big Tower, taking control of there. They don't even necessarily have to push the roamers out, they just have to hold them down. And this is something that I went back and I talked about on Border, when OrgLess attacked there, and they used that brilliantly. They realized they don't even have to take Armory. All you have to do is take Archives, open up the floor, and you just push like that, and you just hold down the rotates. And that worked out pretty well from both sides. And I'm kind of hoping that OrgLess plays something very similar strategy here, but they realize they don't even need to push out all of the roamers from Oregon. They just need to get control, and now you see, they've already got control of the meeting hall.
Yeah, meeting hall control is very important, but we've still got Rampy there in Kitchen, and he's probably just biding his time, waiting to make a rotate through the meeting, through the Kitchen meeting wall, as we have got Yeti playing in there. I think Yeti might even be on his drone and maybe unaware of Rampy's presence there. No, Yeti is actually holding that angle, very much aware that the threat is incoming from Kitchen, and just waiting to pounce on that opportunity, although maybe a little bit confused, maybe thinking he's upstairs in Attic. This is all wasting time for the attackers. OrgLess, they're not stalling out at this stage, but they've taken good control, but SSG are kind of slipping through the fingers a little bit. Redeemer there going to come out with a big C4 kill onto Brian, and Rampy is only just round the corner there. He does manage to pick up that kill onto Acid. 3 versus 5 in favour of Space Station. Doesn't quite manage to pick up the kill onto Yeti though, as Yeti drops the hatch, but quickly gets taken out by Chala with only 15 seconds left on the clock and only 2 attackers remaining. Bosco's going to make short work of the last 2 with a C4 and a shotgun pump.
That was just a mess coming out from OrgLess, honestly. They were kind of all over the place with it because, so they're pushing, they have beating hole control, they have everything that they need, all they need to do is just hold down the roamers. They let Rampy get all the way into meeting hole, and I don't know, it just kind of went down from there. I would point out the massive mistake that came down is Yeti flashed and then dropped.
Yeah, he didn't leave a hell of a lot of time in between those two. He kind of half flashed himself. He really made the defenders aware that that's what was going to be going on in that scenario.
So Chala has to peek that hallway as soon as they start to get control. Yeti puts the flash down to maybe give himself a bit of zoning, but then he has to turn around. But then he realizes someone's about to peek in, so he has to peek into him, and then yeah, it just all goes down. Yeti doesn't win that gunfight, but he kind of put himself into a bad situation. Whether you rack that up to bad timing or not is kind of up to you guys, whether you think that's what happened or not. But you can't underestimate the fact that OrgLess at the last minute there for that push, they seemed all over the place.
It looked on the face of it as though they took good control, but they only took control of rear tower, and they never really had full control of meeting, purely because of the rotate that was going through into kitchen. And the way that Legion played that is he played it in such a way that OrgLess could only push halfway up into kitchen before they were exposing themselves from the rotate hole, and it really just didn't work. They didn't have control of meeting, which meant that dropping hatches, and even though they managed to get the kill onto Legion in the end, they just weren't comfortable, and they didn't leave themselves with enough time to be able to execute once they got onto the site. And I think it was a good example of SSG in the way that they were just being very slippery on the roam. They just couldn't really be pinned down.
Yeah, I mean, so I talked about this at the very start, and I do want to bring up Border again because it is a very likable situation. Whereas Oregon is very much all about the roam, Border necessarily isn't quite. It's more about lurking and just taking control, and it's not really about completely roam control, depending on how you play it. Like if you play Pulse, maybe, yeah, sure. But Oregon, definitely all about the roam game. If you can waste a lot of time on the roam, it'll be good for you. And I thought that OrgLess's initial take was really good because they were just ignoring the roam, and they're saying we don't even need to take control because we already have beating hole. We can do a backside push. We don't even need to go front. And I thought it was a great exposure, but then all of a sudden they just lose control.
Yeah, and I think they didn't really pay any attention to main door or classroom or anywhere else on the map, and I think if they'd have maybe deployed a little bit of utility or a few bodies over there, it could have just really helped to pinch, create a pincer movement, and they would have been able to push out the Legion from kitchen with relative ease, and it would have allowed them much more freedom of movement upstairs. Whereas they did ignore the roam, but then they kind of really needed to deal with it, and then by the time they got onto site, it was just a little bit too late. So it might be nice to see them maybe run a Jackal. I know it's quite, a little bit extreme, and you losing a lot of utility from another operator there, but to have the ability to, go in through master bedroom upstairs or bunk and just get any footprints you can, do some drone work, and then you've also got the smokes for the plant. Maybe that's something that could work for them next laundry, but we'll have to see what goes down.
Adaptation is something that, as we said during the last map, is that OrgLess has been severely lacking in. Maybe they're trying to think too far ahead of themselves. Maybe they're trying to think, we can bring the same lineup. We just made a few critical errors here and mistakes, and we can fix those on the fly. Maybe they have a bit too much faith in their ability to fix things on the fly rather than just changing it up and doing something different.
Yeah, I mean, there becomes a point where you can't rely on winning that gunfight anymore. You've got to rely on putting yourself in a better position to be able to win that gunfight, not the same position that you were last time. So I think that's the real key with the adaptation, is it's not just about trying the same thing, it's about mixing it up ever so slightly to give yourself a little bit more of an advantage when that gunfight does come around. Where do you think we're going to go for the next bomb site? Do you think they're going to take us back down to laundry, or do you think we're going to go upstairs to
well, we
dorms?
can't go back to laundry because they just won.
Sorry, yeah. So we're going to go back up to dorms this time. And maybe a little bit of a difference in the way that that's going to be played. few more bodies off-site, perhaps?
Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because, so without a mirror and without a maestro, they're going to bring an echo, obviously. Well, I hope so. I feel like they're just going to play most people on site, though, because with an echo, you can kind of play it fairly safe. It does also depend on if there's an IQ being brought out at all, which I think there should be from OrgLess, although whether they do so or not remains to be seen. I will say as well, without a maestro, all of a sudden smoke pushes become a much more viable situation, but hopefully SSG should rely quite heavily on bulletproof cameras.
Yeah, bulletproof's definitely there for the taking. Touching on your IQ point, I think IQ is certainly viable to be picked, especially because Valkyrie's available, and there's some nice Valkyrie cameras on Oregon that you can get outside. There's plenty of places that you can hide. So all of a sudden an IQ starts to have a really good multi-purpose there in two very specific roles in hunting out the yokais and hunting out the Valkyrie cameras.
Yeah, definitely, and there's definitely a lot to be said about all of that going through, but looks like we're just about ready to get back into this matchup. It should be a good one indeed. Remember, Spacestation 1-0 up so far, and a very successful downstairs defense coming out from them. A little bit hectic from OrgLess though. Let's see if they can pick it up, let's see if they can warm up on Oregon, as it looks like we're just about ready to head back in. Yeah, it looks like everyone's ready, so hopefully we get back in here soon.
Again, a break is never too much of a bad thing. We did see OrgLess coming out pretty well after the break last time. I think they won the first round after that break, and maybe a couple of subsequent rounds.
Yeah,
I think it did happen on a change of the sides, so maybe that has something to play into it as well. Or perhaps it was a little bit earlier.
It was a 3-0.
Yeah, it was a 3-0, so it was a little bit earlier than the change of the sides, but it was really important for them just to have that small little break, maybe sort out the comms and, you know, give themselves that belief that they are able to pick up these rounds. So we'll have to see how they come out after it.
Well, let's get right back into this exciting series coming out between Space Station Gaming and OrgLess. Don't forget, Space Station are 1-0 up, not just in rounds, but in maps as well. Remember, it's the best of 3, so if they close out this, that's their ticket straight to Invitational. The loser gets nothing.
Attackers need to
Good
locate
day,
and
sir.
defuse as
Get
many bombs as
nothing.
they can.
I really like how you emphasise that nothing.
Nothing at all. And that's just going to be devastating. That's, you know, if you're in a tournament and there's a prize pool and you're in the final, you're thinking, okay, we want to win, obviously, but if we come second, we still get money. If you come second here, it's nothing. If you're not first, you're last, basically. So, we're going to see how round number 2 is getting underway, and we will see the Valkyrie coming out, but we will see the IQ coming out. No Echo, though, coming out from Space Station, surprisingly. Redeemer, you'll be playing on the Pulse instead here. What do you think about that?
Well, we were almost bang on in what we were suggesting, weren't we? I kind of hinted toward the Valk. You were pretty keen on the IQ, so the Pulse has got a lot of value playing downstairs, and I'm sure that SSG have got a pretty good plan as to how they're going to, you know, enable him to be able to play down there. You know, Smoke's probably making some holes in the floor that are going to be used to stem any pushes that are going to be coming from. Oh, that Valkyrie camera's going to get spotted pretty much straight away by Yeti, the nice one in the lampshade there in small tower. So unfortunately for Bosco, he's going to lose one pretty much straight away, but he's still got one on site, which is going to enable them to use a C4 and deny the plant. Thinking they're going to be making some holes pretty much all over the site in kids and in main dorms, just to be able to see where the push is coming from. Redeemer playing upstairs at the minute as the Pulse.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with this, because I'm going to assume they have kids dorm hatch open and that he can rotate down there in a second. And also he has other ways that he can rotate down there as well. But I think that he, even if he doesn't rotate down, he still has a good position to deny the plant. He does have a nitro. You don't have to toss the nitro from below just because you're Pulse. So yeah, there's still viable ways for him to do this, and just playing next to a hard wall could be really good. This is very interesting from Bosco.
Bosco's got himself into a pretty tight position there, and he's going to get drawn by Brian. But I think it's going to be Brian and Yeti now that are going to try and bring the fight to Bosco. But he's got a rotation hole.
Charles actually playing right above him, and I think they do have some sort of kill hold, but it's not going to matter because Bosco is just going to white peek out of it. He takes down Yeti very effectively, but Crazy does manage to trade it right on out. Thinking they just go down, that's the Smoke already off the board.
Yeah, a bit of a utility loss there as Smoke, but you know, maybe a bit of a worthwhile trade. I mean, we've got the IQ out, but I guess IQ's maybe found everything that she needs to find at this point. She's not really going to get much opportunity when in the objective to whip out the scanner. Brian's going to be bringing the fight to Bosco now, and is going to get the kill, but Rampy's going to be there to trade him straight back out. Ooh, Rampy just narrowly missing out on a kill onto Kitchen there. If he'd have only held that angle for a second longer, I'm sure he would have picked it up. Crazy going to pick up the kill onto Chala. 3 versus 2 now in favor of SSG. Rampy going to pick up that kill onto OrgLess, and that's going to bring us down to a 2 versus 1 as Acid gets the kill onto Redeemer. All down to Rampy. He's downstairs, and the plant has surely got to be going down at this point. Capitai is going to use his asphyxiating bolts to zone off White Stairs. Flash grenades are going to come out as well, and Rampy now is left with a hell of a task of peeking at the top of White Stairs and trying to make anything stick. But the flash grenades are going to come out. They're going to miss the mark and not quite going to be so effective. But got to play a head glitching on the B bomb, which is going to cause Rampy a lot of trouble there. And at this point, Rampy's in a pretty impossible situation, I think.
Yeah, pretty impossible situation indeed. But he has actually managed. As I said it, I thought he was going to be able to clutch it out. He got a little bit more control back, but he's on top of White Stairs and he just gets picked up by Crazy. Easy as that. And OrgLess find their first round.
I think it was a well-deserved first round. They did a great job of pushing Bosco out downstairs and making sure that they were able to trade off that kill as well. Rampy did get a trade, but ultimately I think it must have been the control that they took from upstairs. Did they come in through double window?
Yeah.
So the double window push was obviously the thing that really allowed them to be able to do that. And I'm not sure if SSG were focusing a little bit too much on holding downstairs.
Well, also, I think the big problem here was the setup for Spacestation, because if they're pushing through double window, you can still nitro over the mattress, but Redeemer didn't have the nitro set up like that. He was wide peeking out of it, and if he'd thrown the nitro from a safer angle, he would have got a double kill there easily.
Yeah, that's always the risk that you have to run with the nitro, is it's when to use that nitro cell. He obviously didn't quite get the absolute most out of it that he could have done, but we're going to go there yet again, and SSG maybe going to set up just a little bit differently this time, although we are seeing a very similar lineup from both sides, but this time no Valkyrie.
Yeah, no Valkyrie coming out just yet. I think Spacestation realized it's not a great pick for them, considering that the IQ came out immediately from OrgLess, and they typically do bring a lot of IQ. They brought a lot of it on border as well, so you know, we'll see how it does go down, we'll see how OrgLess do react to this. But Spacestation, maybe not looking as strong as they were on the previous map.
It's deceiving, isn't it? Because Spacestation had a really good showing on Laundry, but then on this on the last round, on the last hold of Kids Dorms, they seem to have not quite a poor showing, but they kind of let a lot of map control, well, a lot of site control, I guess, go quite early on, and it ended up in OrgLess being able to get the plant down and really take a lot of advantage of that. So I think this round is going to sort of set the pace a little bit, and that's probably going to get bandit tricks right off there by Chala. But the other side is going to get done as well, as the asphyxiating bolt come in, eat up half of his health in a very short space of time. That's Chala now in a very awkward position downstairs in Kitchen. Yeti going to pick up the kill onto Redeemer. No more nitro for the Pulse this round. Chala is getting harassed by the drones as the push is going to come on into him, and he's just got to try and waste as much time as he can. But my man going to come out with another grenade kill. My man's been on fire tonight with the grenades. Rampy there going to take out Brian just to try and stem the flow and pick up a kill of his own. Bosco playing close in the showers. So he's obviously knowing that he played this last time with the Valk, and with that shotgun in that close quarters, he's got a much better chance of coming out victorious if a push does come. And with Rampy playing at just outside classroom, peeking on into bathroom, he should be able to assist him. But my man's going to find the head of Rampy, thinking they're going to get the kill over onto Crazy. 3 versus 2 now in favour of OrgLess.
Yeah, smokes are going to come out, but the plant is also going to be coming down, thinking they doesn't really have too much to contest this from. He moves all the way through. He doesn't go down for it. He gets the knife. Oh my god, Acid goes down, but that's going to be Yeti instantly picking up that refrag, and now it's a 2v1. All down to Bosco. Does have a nitro cell available to him, and oh my god, he almost gets that kill. He peeks all the way around. He can see the barrel, and he goes for the ADS. He takes down my man, and now it's a 1v1. can bring this in, but he's very low HP. He's got to deal with the Yeti. Can he see where he is? He could potentially get the Nitro out from below, and we'll see how he goes down. He just put the Nitro down, but does get it! Oh my god, Bosco! He's 2 million IQ. He goes all the way up. He should just have just about enough time to get this. Oh my god, what a Nitro from Bosco.
That Nitro was incredible. There must have been some intel for him for that, because it was almost perfect. It looked like it wasn't going to hit, because it did look like he'd thrown it a little bit too far away. He kind of had his back to the player as he threw it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't argue with it.
I think what he did, he might actually have this innate ability called sonar. Just closes his eyes and he can picture the entire map and where people are. And then he throws out the Nitro. But yeah, I agree. There must have been some kind of intel of where Yeti was holding. But wow, really good job of what was happening there. Spacestation take round number 3 in very, very, very close fashion. But we'll see how it goes down. We're moving to round number 4. I'm actually going to see the Dokkaebi coming out from Yeti. Dokkaebi. Just trying
to bring a little bit of disruption, and it can also really help to pinpoint anyone that's lurking or roaming, or anyone that's in the site, and just get a bit of a closer idea as to where they are. I'm going to go as far as to say that Bosco clutch was really important in this game, because it really didn't look like they were going to win dorms, and it's now enabled them to be able to go back down to Laundry.
Well, they would have been able to do that.
They would have been able to do that anyway. Yeah. But they're going down there now with the confidence of winning upstairs. If they'd have lost 2 up in dorms and then gone back down to Laundry, it would have been a little bit of a sour taste, maybe going in 2-2.
Yeah.
But now they're looking at being able to potentially take this 3-2.
I think the reverse of that, though, is, you know, they win upstairs, so now they have to go downstairs. Basically. I mean, they don't have to, but OrgLess are going to know they're probably going to go downstairs now. Whereas if they had lost upstairs, there's still a potential for them to go then back upstairs. So maybe it does play against them a little bit, but yeah, there is that confidence factor to come in now. They're on map point. They do have 1 map up already in the series, so they should be going pretty confident here. Yeti's actually going to make his all way into split, but no, he loses the fight. Rampy just doesn't care. Dokkaebi, I don't care. I'm just going to kill you anyway, Rampy says, as he moves in. It's going to be a 5v4 now. And already losing that much utility, that is horrible for OrgLess.
I mean, Yeti was on a bit of a mission there. He made the Dokkaebi call. He obviously had a good idea of where Rampy was playing, because he was pre-aiming the spot. And I mean, Rampy just came off better, because I think
he's just better.
He's just better, but he's got a better gun for that sort of engagement. I think the SMG-12 can be a little bit bouncy on the recoil and a bit more unpredictable. Legion's gun tends to be much better at those tighter angles. So, you know, Rampy paid a price. He did lose a hell of a lot of hit points for it, but he's also been able to get droned out in kitchen. He wasn't pushed by my man, and now he's been able to rotate all the way back, down into meeting, into near the site. I really feel like that's a missed opportunity from OrgLess. I think there was a potential for a later trade there.
There definitely was potential there, but it is still 5v4. There's still quite a lot of potential here for OrgLess to bring this in. Oh my god, that was almost a beautiful kill from Charla.
Charla there just putting some hella good shots down onto Highway. Brian going to pick up that kill onto Bosco. So Mute going to get caught out upstairs on maybe a bit of a lurk or a bit of a late roam, but Rampy's actually going to get that kill onto my man, as maybe punishing my man for not taking the initiative earlier and pushing when he had the drone information. It's allowed Rampy to get right back into dining. Rampy's almost doing laps of the map at this point. There's absolutely nothing that OrgLess can do to pin him down. They've probably got no idea where he is at this point, and he's now over in office, minute left, and he's just waiting to make this late push as hatch control has been established. Crazy has dropped the hatch after smoking. Shala there, ready to get the kill. Shala getting another down there onto Brian, and it's now all down to Acid in a 1 versus 4. The shots didn't land there, but Redeemer is there to pick up the pieces. Spacestation Gaming going to win another round on defense.
Great coming out from Spacestation here. Very conservative defense, but Crazy taking the fights where he can, taking 1v1s and consistently winning them, and giving the space that they need, because not only getting kills, right, but he's also getting very important kills coming down. There's some great synergy coming out from Spacestation right now, especially the fact that Charles is almost picking Hibana through highway window when he has, you know, no vision, but he knows that he's pushing up.
Yeah, the intel and the comms on that team right now are going to be absolutely on fire. just off that last round, the way that Rampy played it was he just allowed himself so much space. And the rotations were just perfectly timed so that he could, you know, move through the map, challenge when he needed to challenge, apply a little bit of pressure. It just allowed his team so much time and so much space to do what they needed to do. We're going to see a rear tower hold now, so I think this actually makes quite a bit of sense. SSG are obviously understanding there that they kind of won the round on Dorms by a great individual play, which isn't something that you can rely on every single time. You know, the plant was down. Bosco went huge and got a 2K and a Nitro kill to, you know, kill the last two and win the round. So you can't rely on that kind of a play every single time. So I think switching it up over to a rear tower does make a lot of sense. Yeah,
it does make a lot of sense indeed. But we're getting into round number 5. I kind of don't like this when there's no mirror available, but OrgLess might be thinking that as well, thinking, okay, they don't have a mirror, they probably won't go here, they've got a castle, they're probably going to go into dining, and they might have brought a lineup for that. Although, knowing how OrgLess play this, and knowing how generally teams play these days in this meta, especially in North America, they tended to take the same lineup and just been making it work. So it might not actually affect that strategy too much.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a bit of value in bringing, I don't know, there's maybe a bit of value in bringing a Blackbeard if you know that they're going to be going over to rear tower, because there's a bit of window play to go on and there's a couple of angles that you can hold that way. But I think you're right, the operators that we've seen tonight have been pretty much the same throughout, with only very small adaptations being made. Although we are seeing Redeemer moving on to the Echo, which is nice to see this time, as Echo's been available this game and not yet played.
Yeah, definitely. You do see those 1 or 2 people from each team are on that flex roll, and they're changing up to see what their team needs. But Redeemer's actually going to be below with the Echo here. It's a very aggressive position to play the Echo, because if the blue push came through, which I'm assuming is reinforced and castled, that could be a bad place for your Echo to sit. But also, remember, he's got an ACOG, and he can contest this long angle, and he can pretty much contest that pixel angle as well. He's going to know if he's getting droned way earlier. And there we go. That drone stopped just short, and that's actually really smart coming out from Acid.
Acid there not really wanting to waste his drone, just leaving it just out of reach of Redeemer. And Redeemer there going to be faced with the decision of whether to move off and lose his position and take out that drone or not. Yeti there just making sure that meeting is clear, but still very aware. I think that at this stage, OrgLess can't be aware that Redeemer's playing downstairs, because they surely would have pushed that a little bit harder.
Yeah, potentially. I think Acid does know there's someone down there. I don't know if he knows it's the Echo or not. Oh my god! How do you survive that? Rampy's still alive there. Capital balls are going to come down as well as nades. Rampy's still holding position here. He's still wasting so much time here on tier 3, but no one's pushed him out just yet. He does have an Echo drone just below him to give him a little bit of intel and where to peek off of, but there we go. My man Fine going to take him down. But look how much time he just wasted, and Nades is going to jump out. He takes him down, but no, it's a double kill from Brian, jumps in. He gets control of tier 2, and now it's a 4v2. Charlie going to try and recover the site as he pushes all the way up, but they've lost control of the big tower, and Yeti is going to start to plant on rear stage. But if they deny this plant, it can go very, very well indeed. Charlie going to push all the way through onto the meeting hall. Does get lit up, does manage to light some up in return. Redeemer takes down Acid, but Yeti instantly traces out onto Charlie. Now it's a 3v1, all down to Redeemer, but he can't redeem the dream. Brian will take him down. OrgLess take round number 5.
From how much time was wasted upstairs, I'm really struggling to believe that OrgLess managed to clutch out that round, because I looked at the time and it was like, I think 38 seconds and they were repelling into T3. I
think the big mistake that they were making there is that they were going for a rear stage plant, but they were taking control of tier 2. I think if they planted tier 2 instead, there wouldn't have been that kind of doubt, because if Charlo had won that gunfight in meeting hall and pushed through and denied the plant, Spacestation could have won that round very easily.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think had there been a little bit more ability for Redeemer to maybe jump into his Echo drone, I think he still had one up at that point. I'm not sure if IQ found both of them.
It was one tier 2 still, I'm pretty sure.
So it would have been a little bit of an effort to get it down and in a position to be able to deny that plant, but you know, it could have been possible if he'd have had enough time. But we're going to go upstairs to dorms now. So we've seen OrgLess win here on attack. We've also seen SSG win here on defense. This is, of course, going to be the last round of the current format of SSG on defense. And OrgLess on attack. It will then, of course, switch around. And I think the scoreline kind of reflects on how this game's going. There's not a lot in it between these teams at the minute. We've seen them go neck and neck on Clubhouse, purely based, like we've said, on the way that the bans went and the fact that it kind of fell a little bit more attacker favoured this evening. And we're seeing things, you know, pretty level on Oregon as well.
Definitely. And Oregon is a little bit more of a linear map, I would say. So I'd say this counts against Spacestation because they've had a decent amount of prep going into this and they've had a decent amount of adaptability. And we've seen OrgLess do pretty well so far on Border and Consulate, which are both maps that maybe Consulate less though, but they're fairly linear. So I think OrgLess does better on this kind of state where Space Station's advanced preparation isn't going to necessarily benefit them a whole lot.
OrgLess seem very good at taking control of the map at a point and then just pushing up as like quite a, you know, almost like holding sort of like a half-court defense and like really pushing up as a team. And the times that SSG have won on defense has been, they've been able to kind of get behind that and be a little bit slippery and cause them a little bit of trouble. So I think you're right in what you say is that OrgLess do seem to favour the lane-orientated maps and the ones that may be a little bit more linear in the way that they play out. But having said that, you know, SSG have done a great job so far of being able to, I mean, look at that for a prime example. Rampy there choosing not to shoot the drone. He's calling out that the drones are going to be going that way, and that's, you know, Bosco can deal with that. But he's only shooting the drones if he absolutely has to, because he really doesn't want to give his location away at this point.
Yeah, but there we go. Yeti will be able to successfully drone him out there in Meeting Hole. Rampy is still holding down firm, but the last time they defended upstairs, it was not great for them. It did come down to a very close nitro coming out from Bosco. Admittedly, great clutch, but coming down to clutch scenarios does not mean you're coming down to a great defense. We'll see how Space Station do lock out this, and we'll see exactly what they want to do here, but they're running a very similar set as what they did the first time they defended here, and I'm not sure if I like it or not.
Look at Yeti here, he's just been able to crouch walk his way pretty much all the way up Armory Stairs into sight, get some shots down onto a guy playing in Kids, but Redeemer is there to get the kill on the Crossfire. A couple of guys have gone in through double window thinking they'd be able to pick up a kill of his own as Crazy and my man pick up one each respectively. OrgLess, a slew of kills coming through right now as Brian gets another 3 versus 2, effectively 2 versus 2 as we have got Crazy down, but he has been picked up. Charlotte is going to get the kill onto Brian though, so it is still going to be a 2 versus 2. The diffuser at Charlotte is going to be going down at some point now. There's a stray nitro cell on the floor, which isn't really going to be doing anything to deny the plant. Bosco underneath manages to get the shotgun kill onto the planter. 1 versus 2 now. My man has got it all to do. Is he going to be able to pick up this kill? He gets the book shotgun through the wall, does manage to pick up Chala, and is going to try and plant this diffuser. He's got plenty of time left to do so. 20 seconds on the clock. Bosco underneath, now making his way onto White Stairs. He's got to push at this point, because if he doesn't, it's going to allow my man to hold an angle on through Kid's door. Bosco's now got a really tall order with this SMG 11 to try and get anything going here. I'm not sure if he's got any intel as to where my man is there. The shots are going to come through. That's going to let him know. Going to draw for the shotgun. Is he going to be able to connect with these shots? Trying to get a bit of a quick peek going on, but my man is going to pick up the round. What a great clutch.
Really good from my man, and he played that very smart, but also Bosco is playing it smart as well. I kind of feel like Bosco could have gone below and potentially killed him while he was planting, but that's a very tall order. It's a very big risk when you're just relying on the shotgun. And yeah, like it just came down to that one gunfight, and he loses it. Really well played by my man overall, but that was an insanely close round, again coming out on that top floor defense. But we're going to switch it around now, and Space Station are going to move through onto the attack, and we'll see what they do as we see a laundry defense coming out, and I'm really hoping that Yeti's picking the dock for the bulletproof cam.
We shall have to see. Bosco, I can't believe how close he was to another near clutch on the same objective. I think with like serious hindsight, looking back after the heat of the moment, if he'd watched the diffuser through the shotgun hold that he just killed the Capitao off, that would have probably been the better play at that point, because it would have really forced my man to plant, but there was just so much time left on the clock that there was just too many variables at that stage, and he just left him, well, he didn't leave himself, he was just found in quite a difficult position, but my man did a great job of clutching out that round. So we're all even now going into the first round of attack for SSG, and of course the first round of defense for OrgLess. I wonder if we have seen the old bulletproof cam that you're so keen to find.
Yeah, he did. He put it down in like a default spot, you know where the baskets are in laundry, like just on the west side. Yeah, thank you, Sierra, for doing that. Our wonderful observer, as always, moving through and just giving a bit of intel and a bit of more setup to what's going on here. But we're going to move through into round number 7. It's going to be the first attack round coming out from Space Station. Let's see exactly how they take it. It's 3-3 all tied up at the moment, and this is kind of the scoreline I was expecting on Oregon. I believe stats-wise it's still the most balanced map.
Reloading!
Well, I mean, this certainly attests to that. It's we've seen 3 rounds each. We've actually got a player down at the minute. My man's down, and Bosco's going to aggressively peek up and trying to convert one of these kills. Does manage to get some good shots in, but doesn't really want to lose his life at this stage. Yokai drone comes out. Rampy picks up that kill onto my man. So I think Rampy lost a lot of hit points early on, and I think that was maybe a little bit of an engagement he found himself in with the Valkyrie there. But ultimately, it looks as though SSG have managed to get control of Kitchen and the west side, which is, you know, quite a typical take for Oregon to kind of push through from west side, clear out Kitchen, and then move on to Meeting and Hatch area. So they've done a good job of that because they've done that very relatively quickly, you know, in around less than a minute. But we've got Yeti there, going to be playing a really nice angle from tower stairs. Got full visibility all the way through Meeting, with both sides of Meeting double door open. So he's even got visibility in through classroom and the top of main stairs for laundry.
Definitely. Yeti's still on this push as well. Strin's trying to go for the pre-fire, still trying to get the picks, but it's not going down just yet. Space Station seem to be pretty much concentrating on their laundry take here, which I definitely can't blame them for. But Acid still has an Echo drone up in Meeting hold to give Yeti the info to push off of this. But I can't help but feel that this is a misplaced coming out from Acid. Yeah, there we go. He's going to drop it, so that's good. He's going to try and push it into position here to deny the plant going down. But this plant really ought to be going down sooner rather than later. No IQ coming out from Space Station. I don't really know where these Echo drones are.
It's going to be on the job of Bosco, really, to get the Thatchers deployed and to try his best to destroy any of these Yokai drones. I'm not sure if he glimpsed one with one of the... oh, Brian, they're going to get a really nice kill onto Thinking Nade as he just goes prone right at the hatch and then loses his head, gets absolutely domed. You can see the Capital with the crossbow in hand, waiting to provide that cover as he switches through, just getting his smokes out, just to allow Chala the opportunity to push on inside. Toxic Bay comes through, but it's too long and in the wrong spot, as Chala has gone for a plant on the washing machine area. Another Toxic Bay come out, so they've baited out a lot of utility at this stage, and the firebolts now come out as well. This is all looking pretty good, but no, Chala is going to fall, and is going to lose the diffuser and be down, but Redeemer is there to take his place. Yeti picks up the kill onto Rampy, and Yeti picks up another one onto Chala. Crazy with one of his own. Kills are coming in thick and fast. Yeti's going to get the last one, and ultimately SSG ran out of time there on that push, and OrgLess just had so much utility to deny that plan.
I think also there's kind of a little bit misplaced utility coming out from Space Station there. Like, they put the firebolts down, but they're not putting them down in the places where this is actually being contested from. So they put it in the hallway, and they put one down on the front of... I can't tell if he missed it or not, and he meant to put it in the supply closet, but he put it in front of the supply closet, and I can't help but feel that that was a little bit of a mistake coming out from Space Station. Regardless, they will lose the first attack round here, but don't matter. It doesn't matter because OrgLess did the exact same thing.
Yeah, there becomes a point where you kind of expect that laundry's going to be a tough job without a mirror. So it's not around that I think that OrgLess are going to be... sorry, it's not around that SSG are really going to be beating themselves up over at this point, because Dawn does tend to be a little bit more favoured toward attackers.
Yeah, and we definitely did see quite a lot of evidence of that coming through. We'll see how OrgLess do take it through, as we do see, I'd say, a fairly default lineup coming out from them, but my main concern here is, and I don't think my man is running it, is the lack of a bulletproof cam coming down, and the IQ being chosen here from Space Station.
10 seconds left.
And we saw a fairly similar lineup coming out from OrgLess when they attacked it.
Yeah, I mean, the IQ is almost a bit of a staple for this bomb site, purely because you're expecting the Valkyrie, you're expecting, you know, even lesions to a point. They can cause devastation late on toward the round, and if the IQ can at least spot them and call them out, that can always be very valuable as well. I know that, you know, they can be easy to find with, you know, good drone work, but you know, doesn't harm to bring the IQ for that reason. Rampy, they're pretty certain that someone's going to be playing over in tower, and it is going to be Yeti. Yeti just trying to harass and waste a little bit of time here. But it does appear as though we've already got somebody on the rappel of tier 3, and Yeti is going to start to get pushed pretty soon. The drones are going to come out through onto tier 3, and no doubt going to know where he is because he's shooting through the floor. Yeti now, you know, probably be well placed to rotate off that, and he's going to go all the way through laundry, maybe up armory stairs, and just get away with his life. He's wasting nearly a minute there, which is a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah, quite a lot of time indeed to start to waste on this push, but there's still plenty of utility up for Spacestation to start to do some work. Yeah, Rampy's pointing out, you just pointed out that he's going to get peeked from somewhere, and yeah, he just starts getting peeked out from Kids Dom's windows. Rampy has already lost quite a lot of HP. This isn't looking good for Spacestation because there's so many places he can get peeked from. They don't really seem to have too much intel where the peeks could actually come from though.
Drone's ready.
No, there's a lot of drone work going on, and I think they're conscious of any IQ play. Bosco's actually made his way inside tower, so any IQ cameras that are out there are going to be pretty difficult for him to find at this point. But loads of drone work coming out from SSG, and it almost seems like they're a little bit undivided in where this push is actually going to manifest itself at this point.
Yeah, a little bit indeed. We'll see how it just go through. It's just about a minute left on the clock. Here we go. Smokes are going to start to come out here from Brian to try and deny the push coming through Kids Dom's windows. We'll see how that is going to work out for them. Space Station are moving up fairly effectively so far, and they are going to start to open up the main window as well as going for the wall bang, and they're convinced that someone is playing Kids, but there we go. Beautiful shot coming out from Rampy. Go. It's going to be pretty good for them to try and jump in here and go for the push. Bosco's Claymore finds a unsuitable crazy, just going through for a flank. He's going to go down, and now it's a 3v5. Not looking too good for OrgLess at all here as the push starts to come through, but my man's going to pick up 1 for 3, and oh my god, Yeti on the roam is going to pick up 1, but the fuse is going to go down. It's now a 3v2. Not looking too good for OrgLess to try and go for a retake. They'll try and do it anyway. Yeti just going through onto the small doms and sees what he can do here. Tries to find a gunfight, does move all the way through into Kids Doms. He pulls out the pistol, he does take him down, but it's going to be Man who picks up that from below. It's now a 2v2. Yeti's just trying to push out here and see what he can do, but Rampy takes him down. It's now all down to Man to try and clutch this in. It's a 1v2. It's all down to him. He's got to find 2. Just get lit. They know where he is. He pushes through. He tries to find the gun skill. He tries to find the kill, but he can't find anything. He's getting pushed out, but he does get the kill. Oh my god, there goes Rampy, but instantly traded out by the hero Bosco. Space Station take round about 8 and tie things up 4 apiece.
Bosco there not wanting to relinquish his title as clutch master of dorms, and making short work of it and picking it up in the end against my man there. But my man did a great job of playing downstairs, picking up some kills on the way back to the objective, and it got a lot closer than it looked like it should at one point, because with the plant down in that situation and peeking from the top of white stairs, it can be very difficult to even get in the bomb site. So a very good job there, but it's going to leave us all square at 4-all, and OrgLess are going to opt to go back up to Kids Dorms and try the hand there again, opting not to go over to rear tower.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
and I'd say that's fine without having a mirror on the board. If you're not gonna, I just really hate when teams go big tower and there's no mirror, because I just don't think it's viable at all, and we haven't really seen evidence that it is viable. I think not in this game anyway.
Well, we've seen it once and it got one on attack, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So we will see how round number 9 is getting underway. As you see, OrgLess are going to attempt a Kids Dom's main hold defense once again. And this is looking like an exact replica of what we saw from the first half as well right now. And in fact, round for round is still the same.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's very similar. I mean, you spoke of it earlier that Oregon's one of the most balanced maps, and I really do feel like that's pretty. You really can't argue with it in this scenario that is true. But there's been a couple of occasions where it's been either a good individual play, or there's been something that's kind of shifted the tide, and that's made, you know, one side win or the other. So I guess that both these teams are just needing to work on what we've been talking about all evening, which is this adaptation. And it looks as though SSG are going for it this time, because it looks as though they're going to try and open generator room, which isn't something that we've seen them try to do just yet.
Yeah, that is true. I think this is pretty much one of the default plant spots they're going through, and I would prefer Spacestation to push it this way than push another way, mostly considering the fact that there's no pulse on the board. Now, when there's no pulse on the board, you're pretty free to try and plant down Gen. You've got to be aware of the rotate hole on top of white, and this is why there's a book on the board from Thinking Nade. And if anyone's seen Thinking Nade, his book, it's the afro. It's the afro that actually hides his enormous brain to be able to make 200 IQ book plays.
Drone ready.
Well, let's hope that we see some of these 200 IQ players coming on through as Redeemer makes his way in with his drone just to see what the story is on in the site. Struggling to find anyone at this stage, but he knows that they're going to be there somewhere. And as you said, we've got somebody playing at the top of white stairs. It looks as though Redeemer's maybe going to try and use an asphyxiating bolt to deal with that and allow Chala to push in and get the plant down. The plant does start to go down, but not before Chala gets a kill over onto Acid. Brian there just going to be trying to spam some shotgun shots through the smoke. Yeti picking up that kill onto Bosco of the Thatcher. And the plant has gone down. I was just going to say, I'm sure it's going down somewhere. Brian there making a smoke grenade toss, but not quite in the right location. Crazy going to pick up the kill from underneath onto Thinking Nade. Chala is down and is going to get finished off by the Toxic Bay. Rampy is going to be left to try and deal with this alongside Redeemer. Does manage to pick up one kill. Redeemer picks up one of his own as well, but my man is going off. Rampy gets that kill, but then gets traded out immediately by the Claymore. Crazy is the last man standing, and Redeemer is the last attacker who is going to come off victorious. There's not a lot of time left on the defuse. He's going to have to get on it very soon. If he does, he picks up the kill. I'm not sure if he's got time to get over to this diffuser and get it down. He does manage to spot it, but there's not going to be enough time left for Crazy. That's very unfortunate for him. He did a great job of getting that kill, but ultimately Space Station got the bomb down and will manage to hold the post plant for just long enough.
What a shot from Crazy there at the end. And yeah, living up to his namesake, he is crazy. But yeah, it is going to be a victory for Space Station. Great planting coming out from them, great push coming out from them, and now they've started to change things up. So, round number 10 getting underway. You're OrgLess in this situation. What is your thought process there?
I think the thought process at this point is that Laundry's been won three times by defenders. So you're looking pretty good to take this round and take it to 5-5. There's nothing that they've done terribly wrong in the previous rounds that's sort of removed them from being able to have a chance of winning this time. I'm not seeing too much different in the lineup. I genuinely think this one could go to overtime, and I really think it's going to come down to a coin toss as to who gets the attacker or who gets the defending side. Well,
I mean, if it goes to overtime, then 3 attacks have been won and 3 defenses have been won by each side. So I don't think the coin toss would even matter, because it's still perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
But it would, in the sense that if you were the team that got defense and you would chose to go down to Laundry, defense has been the 100% win rate for defenders, then it makes a big difference.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a point to bring. So we'll move into round number 10. We'll see another Laundry defense coming out. Space Station have a great opportunity to try and break this balance out and prove that it's not just defenders who can win Laundry. Attackers can win it too. They have everything they need utility-wise to take this. I think though last time they were not only too late in pushing out, but maybe they should have pushed backside, because OrgLess had the right idea with their push. They had great control of meeting wall. They could push down the backside, and they had the utility to be able to do it. But when the execute actually came down from OrgLess on that first round, it was all over the place. And they just didn't seem to have enough intel on the actual site itself to effectively do that push. And I think they just kind of went, you know what, let's just push anyway, and let's just try and trade off each other. But it just kind of just went all pear-shaped for them. But it does look like Space Station, again, are going to go for this front side push into Laundry, which I don't disagree with. And without a mirror, it can be decent. But we saw last time, it was kind of ineffective planting coming out from them and ineffective utility usage.
They didn't start basing the utility out early enough, I don't think, or well, either that or OrgLess did a great job of keeping it in the back pocket and only using it when they absolutely had to. I'm sure did we have an echo last time that OrgLess defended?
Yeah,
so that's quite a that's quite a big difference there, and I think the echo will have definitely played a big part in helping to deny that plan. But Yeti's still playing on this tower stairs half landing with good visibility all the way through meeting. as he's just getting a little bit more aggressive, gets droned out by Rampy there, and still trying to hold this angle and push this point. There's no real problem with that, but Rampy is very much aware, and I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a head-to-head here at some point. But there's some holes open in the floor. Rampy's drone's going to get taken out as well, so Rampy's really stuck between a rock and a hard place and trying to root Yeti out of here, and a run out comes out from Acid, but Rampy does manage to get that kill. He loses over half of his hit points for his trouble, but he is still there to assist his team, and now he's just going to be able to wait and see if Yeti is going to push. They've got a pretty good pinch on him now, and I'm not sure if they're fully aware of that, but Chala and Rampy between them can pretty much remove Yeti from the game, but Bosco's going to do that anyway by finding his head, but my man is going to trade it straight back out onto Bosco. My man, they're going to sit with the shotgun on the rear tower stairs, and the time is running out for the attackers, but it is looking pretty good for them. They've got a lot of utility left on the board, and they've still got Capitao with some smokes.
Yeah, definitely. And just 35 seconds left to go on the clock. Space Station in a great position now, but they're going to have to start moving fast. Bryant now stuck in supply closet. Will be able to try and put down. Oh no, he missed it. He's going to try and put that down very, very quickly now to try and deny his plant going down. That's a better angle to take it down. It looks like, yeah, Redeemer is going to start to take damage. He does go down. No, he doesn't. Oh my god, is he going to stay the plant? No, he came out of it. But there we go, Bryant does go down. It's all down to Baman in a 1v4 clutch situation. 10 seconds left to go. All he has to do is deny the plant, but no, he can't get it out. Rampy go as he just jumps down, takes down Baman and saves the round. Beautiful from Rampy. Completely saved that round for Space Station.
And they've broken the mold.
They've broken the curse.
They've broken the curse. I'm not sure if it's a curse. Curse sounds a little bit too bad.
It's broken the magical seal. That's not a curse.
It's broken the pattern. Which is good, because it means that it's winnable on attack, which is very important, because OrgLess are going to go there again.
Well, I mean, it was still good from them. They had the right idea. I still think, though, that again from OrgLess, they haven't really bought much kind of like different operators. They brought the Legion instead that time instead of the Echo, which, if anything, kind of went against them.
Yeah, the Echo was very important, and they've obviously recognised that because they're going to bring it again this round.
I'm not sure how to feel about the pulse here. I guess I get it because the Vault Cams haven't been really that effective, and if you're not getting utility out of Vault Cams because they're getting destroyed by IQ, and you're probably not going to get much utility out of the Echo if the IQ is still on the board by the time the XQ starts to come through, then Pulse is the next best thing, right? He can stay in the back of supply closet, he can get a decent amount of intel where the push is going to come down. He's not going to get perfect intel, but it's enough.
I think the main advantage of the Pulse is that the only well, it's not even a risk, but the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to get found out as to where he is. But with Laundry being a fairly safe haven for a Pulse in that none of it's destructible, he's not actually going to get shot by the IQ. So it doesn't really matter that the IQ knows where he is. He could get Thatchered, and that'll take his scanner out of the equation a little bit. But it's definitely a worthwhile pick from coming out there from OrgLess. But you know, you never know. I think you've got to ask yourself, has the Jaeger been doing good for him? Has the Legion been doing good for him? It's all so difficult to tell, but all I know is that my man has been going off at the minute, so if he's willing to switch up onto another operator and flex things around on match point, you know, he's obviously got a good idea of what he's going to be doing with it.
Yeah, he should have a good idea. Indeed, just going to see Bosco just trying to hunt down where he can and open up the big tower. I love this angle as well from Bosco. Not only the fact that he's opening stuff up with the LA5, he's also got the rest of his team pushing big tower, and he's going off the rotate there. And they're just trying to force members of OrgLess out of here because Yeti's played here pretty much uncontested the whole other rounds, but there we go. Rampy picks him up, Space Station have already cleared big tower, and a pretty prominent member of OrgLess who's been sitting there almost uncontested every single round.
Yeah, Yeti seems to find an angle that he likes to play with the Doc and just kind of rock with that. We've seen it happen on Border, and we've seen it happen multiple times, especially on this defense on Oregon as well. But my man, they're going to rotate back down into site. He understands that at this point SSG have taken pretty good control over Big Tower. In fact, full control, and pretty much full control over Meeting as well. So he's going to rotate back down. He's still got a C4. There's a lot of viability there for him to start denying the plant when that should come down. Halfway into the round now, and I think SSG, it's fair to say, have made pretty good progress this round thus far.
They definitely have, and I think that picking Yeti that early is definitely very important to getting control. because now they can go for a backside push. And you can see Redeemer's just doing that exactly. And I love this push coming out because I'm going to bet that both the Echo drones are preparing for a laundry side push. And we can't quite see them at the moment, but there we go. There's one Echo drone. And I said, has quickly realized there's a backside push coming down. So he's going to have to move that into position. Hopefully get picked up. No, the other one is actually in the backside. So this is good positioning for Master's Echo drones here. Hopefully he should be able to get in position and deny this push coming down. But SSG on this Persistent drone, we made this point during the Rise game, and this is something that Spacestation should be doing so well. They're not allowing themselves to get flying. Persistent drone coming out from them, but 40 seconds left to go on the clock. They need to start going for that execute, and they need to take these Echo drones. They do still have 9 Q on the board, so it should be good. And their Rampy is going to be drawing them all out. The Nitro comes out, but Rampy just goes flying. Beautiful Nitro coming out there from a man. And 25 seconds left to go on the clock. And the Echo drone's going to move into position. Nade tries to move all the way in and go for the plant, but the Echo drone's right there. He's going to deny it, but then one of the Echo drones goes down. I don't know if they can see the plant going down there. They can. There we go. Thinking Nade goes down for it. And then we'll see Roscoe just moving in, just get the kill. Chala picks up the diffuser, tries to go for it, but it's a 2v3. He has to get the kills. My man moves in. He takes down Bosco, but Chala gets one of his own. And the Baron comes out. It's 1v2. It's all down to Chala. He has to go for the plant right now, but no, he can't. He runs out of times, and OrgLess will take round number 11. 1 round away from bringing us into overtime on our second map.
That was a really good hold there from OrgLess. They did a great job of not peeking anything until they absolutely had to. They had all the utility in place to deploy it at the time that they needed to. The rotation of the Yokai drone was really key in making sure that that plant wasn't able to go down. But I can't help but think that there was maybe some utility left on the side of SSG to try and assist that plant in going down. You know, I'm not sure how many I'm not sure how many EMP grenades Bosco had left at that point. But if he throws one in with the planter's almost guaranteed to be able to get that bomb down because the smoke just wasn't quite right.
That is true, and I will agree that the Echo was pretty much the saving grace of that. But I think what actually won them the round is, yeah, okay, the Echo, and it comes through and it all starts to just deny the plant. But that's only been allowed to happen because Rampy died to an incredible Nitro coming out from our man. If that had not happened, Spacestation probably would have taken the round.
Yeah, it was the best operator at that point for OrgLess to take out in the IQ because IQ would have more than likely been able to at least see the Echo drone and call the plant off at that stage. I want to say as well
that the Echo drones were being played very aggressively coming out from Acid, but he only ever started doing that once the IQ got picked. And now he knows his Echo drones can't get picked and he might as well just play them aggressively. So yeah, like, good adaptation coming out from OrgLess, but I kind of hope and feel that they changed their setup for basically no reason last time. Because they didn't bring the Echo last time. They defended that, sorry.
Moving on into the round, and we're going to see Kids Dorms come up again. We've seen this we've seen this site defended successfully only one time. So I know we've been, you know, the stats haven't really always rang so true this evening, but they're always a good indication of how it's going to go. So we've only seen it successfully defended one time. We've seen it successfully attacked, I believe it's 4. So it's looking pretty good at this point for SSG to close this one out. They're almost certainly going to want to do it and avoid going to a third map. And I'm sure that they're going to give it their all here. Yeti proving himself a bit of a nuisance on T3 of Tower. Wasting a little bit of the Capital utility as well in the asphyxiating bolts. And drone weren't going to come through. He's going to lose his ADS to that EMP, but he's still wasting a hell of a lot of time. Wasted over a minute now trying to root out Yeti, and he's showing no signs of wanting to go anywhere anytime soon. It looks as though we're going to have a bit of an upside down repel and another Capital Firebolt coming out, but Yeti still unfazed and unhurt. He's convinced that someone's going to peek that window, but Acid is actually going to run out of the bottom of Tower and get that kill onto Redeemer himself. Or, oh no, it was actually from Kid's windows.
Yeah, really good peek coming out. Great teamwork coming out there from OrgLess to get that pick. That's a very important pick because that's Capital done already. They should be able to hold on to tier 3 doing that, and Spacestation going to have to try and shift their attack somewhere else. Yes, he's still holding on to tier 3, however. Spacestation are going to try and rotate into Gen, it seems like. I mean, last time they did this, it was actually a very successful push from them. But this time they don't have the Capital to help out.
Capital was crucial to their push last time. The smoking off of the top of White Stairs and Kids just enabled Charlotte to run in, get a kill and get the plant down. Without that, they're going to have to do some good work with the book on thinking nades to try and root out anybody that's playing at the top of White Stairs. And they've not left themselves all too much time to be able to do that moving into the final 45 seconds of the round. Rampy there going to be making his presence known at the bottom of White Stairs, just maybe trying to detract a little bit from what's going on in Generator Room with Chala, maybe trying to perhaps get the plant down, but I'm not sure that he's going to have had the sufficient cover to get himself in. He's not. The smoke grenades are going to be coming out, and that's going to be what's eating away a little bit of his health. Brian there with another really well-timed smoke grenade, but Chala's actually going to use that to run in, but Brian predicts it. Rampy does get the kill, but it is a second or two too late. Yeti's going to get that kill as well onto Ryan, and all of a sudden loads of kills are going to come out back to back to back. Bosco is now going to actually be getting the bomb down, but he's going to switch it out and fake it. My man's going to get the kill. My man's been going off tonight. He's been doing a great job. It was a crazy final few seconds there, and I really did think that it was going to go the way of SSG at a point, but Rampy was just a second too late on that kill on Brian on White Stairs. Just an absolute nanosecond. Just
a second too late, but also kind of just poor roam clearing coming out from Space Station there, which, you know, is not something I thought I would say in this matchup because they've been pretty consistent otherwise, is that there's still a pulse on the board from below. And obviously they know that, and which is why he was trying to bait out the pulse from Nitroing, but that I don't really think it should be an issue at that point. They should be able to take control of the site without having to worry about the pulse from below, or take the site from below itself. They have a book available. I just don't think they're using the utility maybe in the correct way, or maybe they're trying to go for a push that relies on certain things to happen, and then they don't happen, and Chala dies, and all of a sudden you lose a lot of momentum with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you say, losing the momentum of your planting, losing the bomb in the middle of Gen Room after running in, and I think he took a great initiative there to try and use the smoke as a little bit of cover, and I think he was relying on Rampy playing at the bottom of White and distracting Brian at that point. So Brian would throw the smoke, turn around to deal with the guy on the bottom of White, be able to run in and get the plant off, but Brian just debated him and really didn't take his eye off the planter, which was, you know, really don't take your eye off the ball in that scenario, because otherwise it's going to hit you in the face. And he really didn't take his eye off the ball. He didn't take his eye off the bomb. He knew whose hands it would be in. That was Chala. And it led them to being, you know, it led them to winning the round, which was very crucial at that point. So we're going to go down and see Laundry Room yet again, and I think this has become the typical setup now for OrgLess, because it's the one that has worked previously for them with the yokai drones, and I think this is finally some of their adaptation coming through, and it's showing what they're able to do when are being faced with problems and how they're actually going to be able to overcome them.
Yeah, and you know, adaptation has definitely been Space Station's strong suit throughout the series, and we've already seen good, you know, stuff from that. But I kind of feel that OrgLess, they already have strats they want to do. They don't really want us to change them up, but also they're not really having to, because they've already been working fairly well into their favor, and it's just been looking so close throughout this entire series. And I can't help but feel that OrgLess, they just don't even need to adapt to this. They can rely on their gun skill quite well as well. And yeah, there we go. Yeti's just going to be holding down onto flag here. Oh my god. I thought he was just about to get naded out of that position there, as well as my man going to be playing around here. Interesting that a bandit is going to be playing meeting.
I think they're just trying to keep holding Meeting a little bit and play Yeti in a different spot, but Rampy's going to find Yeti. Then Crazy, he's going to find Rampy straight away. So losing the IQ pretty early on, that's going to deny a lot of information as to where the yokai drones are when the plant does start to go down. That is something that we did see become, you know, that was kind of the start of the undoing of SSG last time that they attacked this bomb site. They really struggled to locate those yokai drones, and ultimately the yokai was able to deny the plant. So it looks as though they've managed to push everybody out of Meeting and, you know, root Yeti out of Meeting. I think at that point it's a fair assumption to say that OrgLess have done a good job of that, and they can then drop back onto site. But it does look as though we've got my man who's he's on an absolute train. He's on a steamroller, and he's trying to put some shots through. But the plant is actually going to start to go down. Toxic Bays come out, and I think that does just disrupt the plant ever so slightly. Charlie's desperate to drop there, but he knows it's not the right thing to do. They were so close to getting that plant down without anybody realizing it, but Brian was just there ready and waiting, watching it. That's all 3 of the Toxic Bays now have been deployed. Oh, sorry, he has got 1 left in his pocket. He has only deployed 2, but with 35 seconds on the clock, He's going to want to deploy his next one pretty soon as the plant does start to go down pretty much in plain sight. And I think that's a pretty good debate because it's not quite a default plant spot. Brian there just putting shots down into thin air. Bosco picking up that kill onto my man. And the smoke grenade, the final smoke grenade is going to come out. Yokai drone still in play, ready to help deny this plant. Brian's going to pick up that kill onto Redeemer. And there's not going to be an awful lot that thinking they can do in that situation. He's no doubt going to get denied, but no, the Yokai drone is being destroyed. Brian's picking up the kill on Chala. Bosco's going to get the kill onto Acid. Another 2 kills are going to come out thick and fast. 1 versus 1. Thinking that he's not going to plant the diffuser. He doesn't have enough time. That was so much closer than it needed to be. I thought OrgLess were going to walk away with that one, and all of a sudden it's a 1 versus 1.
Insanely close. I mean, Spacestation did really well. Because, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, yeah, there's still the Echo Drone up, there's still so much utility up. Even though all 3 smokes have already been used, OrgLess is still in a really strong position. And then all of a sudden, they lose the Echo Drone. And you know the call just went out, I've lost the Echo Drone, we need to push. So they push all the way up, they play for refrags. OrgLess play it really smart, and they end up in a 2v1. Thinking they brings it into a 1v1, but at that point, he's either got to plant or push. I think he chose right based on what he knew was going on at that point, but obviously he just ended up unlucky and unfortunate for him indeed. But it is going to be now overtime match point as we move into round number 14 on map number 2. This has been an insanely close series throughout, and Space Station all of a sudden on the losing foot.
Yeah, it's not somewhere that they used to be in this evening. You can see there, Rampy, just how much this means to him. 17 kills and 10 deaths. My man there, not too far behind him on 14-9. Yeah, I mean, you can just see how much it means to both these sides. Both these teams are not leaving anything on the line. They're bringing everything they've got tonight, and they're throwing it at their opponent. They're going to see what sticks. And it just shows how good, you know, how high the level of competition has been this far, and how much these teams both want it. Because don't forget, it's not all over after this. They've then got to go to Invitationals, and they've got to, you know, do pretty good work there as well. So this is almost only the beginning. So it's only fitting that it's a real, you know, a real battle, if you will.
A real battle of titans coming through here. Indeed, we'll see exactly how it's going to work out. The overtime match point, OrgLess only having to win this one attack to bring it in. But it's going to be a laundry defense coming out here from Space Station. And you made the point that this should then shift it into the favor of whoever gets attack first. Sorry, whoever gets defense first, because they get the laundry. But now you're in a situation where they just won laundry. OrgLess haven't successfully attacked laundry yet, and I'm not saying that they can't. That's a
yikes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for us. And I'm not saying that they can't, but it's seeming unlikely that they will be able to pull it off, because Space Station couldn't pull it off either when there was an echo on the board. So it seems like a bit of a weird situation. So with Space Station take this round on the defense, they move back onto the attack, and it's probably going to be a kid's defense, and those have been some very, very close rounds coming through from both sides. So there's still a lot of viability, and we'll see exactly how that is going to work out. We're about halfway into the round now.
Yeah, like you say, it's going to be tricky to see how SSG are able to defend this, purely because this really is a big round for them, because they're not going to want to take it to another map. So that can, you know, play in different ways. It can make players play really well, or it can make players, you know, maybe make some small mistakes. You see there, Bosco just getting droned out. He's going to no doubt rotate himself back down onto Laundry Stairs when he feels like it is safe to do so. But like you say, there's quite a lot of time gone out of the game, but there's a lot of control still held on main stairs. My man's going to get the kill onto the smoke. That's huge at this point. That's a lot of deniability removed. The smoke grenades are going to come in from OrgLess, and the push is so. My man's going to pick up another Yeti, getting one of his own. Bosco going to pick up one with the shotgun, all down to Bosco and Rampy. The C4 comes out, but it doesn't connect. Rampy picks the kill, and he picks up a second onto Brian. I think he almost nearly shot Bosco then in his excitement. 2 versus 2. The diffuser is in the hands of my man. Bosco is very well placed with the shotgun. The nade comes out. He manages to run out of the way, but the plant is going down. Rampy and Bosco are going to have to push this right now. Bosco's well positioned with the shotgun, but doesn't want to expose himself too much. Acid is going to pick up the kill. It's all down to Rampy in this situation. It's 1 versus 2. The diffuser is down. My man, who has been on a storm, is holding a very tight angle. The pre-fire comes out from Rampy. He puts some good shots in, but it is not quite enough. He's in a horrible crossfire here, and if he gets one, he's not going to get the other. My man gets the kill onto Rampy, and OrgLess OrgLess are going to take Oregon.
So we are going to indeed go to our decider. This is going to be a very intense series so far. OrgLess do take Oregon in a very hard-fought victory coming out from them. They take the map 8-6. What an insane series so far, and what a match befitting. As you said, it's standard.
It's just befitting of, you know, the stage that we're on. You can see that.